and welcome to Impact Africa, our online talk show where we get to speak to diverse people and organizations who are impacting lives positively. And in this series, we are actually focusing on Africa because it's Africa Day in the month of May. My name is Kemi Akiode Adebayo, also known as Mama K. And in today's program, a very, very special one, I've got a really special guest, Mrs Irene Ochem, who is the CEO founder of let me just get it right, Africa Women Innovation and Entrepreneurship Forum, AWIEF for short, which is based in Cape Town, South Africa, but working all across Africa. My dear sister and friend Irene, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mama K. Thank you for having me on your show.
It's
a great honor.
Thank you for making the time, because I know you're a very busy person. So
I'm busier than you are.
No. We're not comparing notes here. You are really busy and up there and everywhere. But tell me, what has been your journey so far? Or tell me just a little bit about yourself. Who is Irene?
Who is Irene?
Yes, who is Irene?
You know, that's a big question. It's a question that I ask myself, regularly, because I have to remind myself who I am. Okay, so Irene Ochem, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm aunt to so many people, actually a lot of people, not only my natural, nieces and nephews, but
extended family,
my startups, some of them, Auntie Irene, and I love it. Okay. So, I was born in Nigeria, so I'm a Nigerian.
Where in Nigeria specifically?
I come from Anambra State.
Anambra State. Where in Anambra State? You want to be specific?
You want to be specific?
Yes.
I come from a local government area called Nnewi local government.
Oh, Nnewi is popular and known across Africa.
Entrepreneurship.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So no wonder. That's why I want you to pinpoint exactly where.
Yes.
Because I know Nigerians, I know
that's one of the most entrepreneurial,
exactly.
hubs of Nigeria.
Right. So born in Nnewi,
and I did my primary school, did my high school, did my university first degree. And after that...
What did you study first degree?
I studied, you won't believe it, Kemi, but my first degree was in history and archaeology. So I'm actually an archaeologist.
Wow, I wouldn't have known that.
I studied at the University of Nigeria.
Right, another great university.
Yes,
although not as great as where I studied.
Okay.
Unilag.
We used to debate that. I'm a lioness.
Okay, so history and archaeology.
And so after my first degree, after the usual National Youth Service,
Where did you do your National Youth Service?
In Ilorin, Kwara State. Okay. And after that, I worked a little bit in Nigeria. Then I met somebody.
Tell me more.
I met somebody by name Dr Alex Ochem, and then the rest they say is history.
Wow. So did you guys get married in Nigeria?
No, we didn't get married in Nigeria.
Where did you get married?
We got married in Italy.
How did you end up in Italy? It's not Italian, is it? Dr. Alexander is not Italian. It's Nigerian. Okay.
Yeah. And but he was living in Italy. He studied in Italy. He was working there.
So he came from Italy.
So he came on holiday
to come and look for a beautiful flower rose.
So that was how I ended up living some more than 2 decades of my life in Italy. Studied some more.
Okay. What did you study then in Italy?
I studied languages as a translator.
So you can speak Italian?
My dear Kemi, yes.
Speak something for me. Even I might not understand. Okay, say something like
ciao.
That one is no.
You know that one.
We know. Say conversation. Okay, reply me, even though I wouldn't know what you're going to say. So, what is your favorite food?
Qual è il tuo cibo preferito?
Okay. Yeah. So, what is that?
Il mio cibo preferito, la pasta, gli spaghetti.
Ah, sweet. Ciao, ciao, ciao. don't let me mind Italian before the people come and say, what? Wow, okay. So you did language?
Anyway, yes, no, not just languages, I studied translation.
Oh, translation.
Okay, so I'm a translator, qualified translator, Italian English. Okay, and I have French as base language.
Oh,
okay.
You understand French as well?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very talented sister you are.
So from there, I worked a little bit a couple of years in the private sector, and then I joined a UN agency,
okay.
UNIDO, okay, and worked in the international development sector. That is it.
And how did you get to South Africa? From Italy to South Africa?
Yes.
What brought you here?
What brought me for family reasons, because my husband was transferred to South Africa.
Just so, like I was. We followed them, eh?
Yes. Ooh, in order not to keep the family separated, so far away, separated, I had to resign from my UN job and that's how we moved to South Africa. Okay. So
which year did you move to South Africa?
2008.
Wow, so you've been here a while.
So when I got here, I worked 2 years at UCT. Okay, so I took up
University of Cape Town.
University of Cape Town, so 2 years at UCT, but we thought we were going to stay long here, but he was posted back again to Europe, and then from Europe to Ethiopia.
Wow, Ethiopia! So it's like, went to Europe back, then back to Africa
again.
And how long were you in Ethiopia for?
So I had to resign from UCT to follow you again.
Ooh, women, eh? We follow this man everywhere.
Yes, and it was 2 years in Ethiopia. That was a great experience. And it also turned out to be a time that I had to do some reflections about myself, asking myself again, who is Irene? Who is Irene Ochem? And then, so that was how it was while I was in Ethiopia that I had time to reflect, traveled a little bit in Africa, spoke to a couple of women, and then the idea of, doing something about women. And how to empower them, how to showcase their contribution to the economy. It was also because deep down inside me, it has always been there for personal reasons. Okay, for my personal reasons, I was raised by a mother, a single mother, a widowed mother, and growing up, I understood the importance of economically empowering a woman. So while I was also in Ethiopia, that was when my mom died. And so it was a period of reflection. What was it that I wanted to do? How do I, make my own kind of impact? And so that was how AWIEF was born, the idea.
Okay, so when was AWIEF started again?
Because
eventually, which year?
My mom died in 2012, but then you know that when you have these ideas, it takes
time to be good.
Yes, okay. The thing was planted in my head while I was still in Ethiopia. But when I left Ethiopia, it was either going back to Europe. We were ready to go back to Europe and all that, but then I realized that my place was not there in Europe.
So AWIEF started, the idea was planted in 2012 and it was registered and officially started what year?
Officially, it was launched in 2015 in Nigeria.
Okay, in Nigeria. Okay.
Yeah, so I launched it in Nigeria, 2 years in Nigeria. The idea at the beginning was to host a women entrepreneurship conference, to bring together from across Africa women entrepreneurs who are doing great work as entrepreneurs, creating jobs, some of them creating empires, to showcase them, what they are doing. And also in that same conference, invite young, emerging, young women. Okay, who under normal circumstances wouldn't have had the opportunity of meeting such other women. So that was the idea, and that was what I did in 2015 in Lagos at a rental hotel. And as I was doing this, as I was planning this event, connecting with these women across Africa, inviting them, and they were all excited because, you know, the idea kind of resonated with them. And then, so it was also the time that the UN General was going to sit in September to marshal in the SDGs that were going to replace the MDGs.
That's the Sustainable Development Goals.
So I did this conference before that,
Okay.
you know. So, and talking about women's economic empowerment. Nobody knew at that conference, neither me, for all the months from January to September when I was preparing this conference, that women's economic empowerment, which was the theme of the conference and everything, would turn out to be SDG number 5 itself. Okay. So after the conference, there was such an excitement, and we came up with some resolutions talking about the challenges, the barriers to women entrepreneurship and all that. Then by end of September, when the SDGs came out, I also found out that now there is an attention also in what I was talking about. That I'm not the only person.
That is our, yes.
So from there, again in 2016, okay, I had a conference again, but then I started asking myself, it's not enough coming to the conference to discuss these issues, you know, so how do we address the issues? So from there, also we started designing, went the next stage, which is to design specific programs, you know,
to fit in
with
those
these challenges.
Yes,
you know.
yes.
So what we do now as AWIEF is to design programs that address the challenges, the issues about women entrepreneurship, and those issues they go from accessing finance, accessing market, accessing skills. You know, so we do capacity building, entrepreneurial trainings, and all that, and accessing network. Because for anything that you are doing for success in business, it's about who you know.
Yep, and information is power.
Connecting
with the right people.
Connecting the entrepreneurs themselves, connecting them to opportunities.
Yes.
So most of the impact that we make is training them, these young startups, giving the training, giving the information that you need, providing a platform for learning. Okay, the conference is one of them. We have webinars, we have master classes, we have different things.
There's a lot you're doing.
Yes, and designing and implementing specific programs. They could be targeted to a specific sector, you know, agribusiness, women in energy, women in technology, or e-commerce. You know, we've had different programs that we implement.
Okay. In there that you've kind of spoken about, and we can already see a lot of the work that AWIEF is doing. Who are the people you work with, and what are some of your kind of success stories, you know, so far? What you're proud to say, wow, I'm glad, you know, we've achieved that, you know, just share with us.
We work with different partners.
Okay.
Okay. They go from corporate partners like Nedbank in South Africa. We work with development partners. Okay, and that could be UNIDO. We are working with UNIDO. We are partnering with UNIDO now on a program. It could be GIZ. It could be UN Women. We have worked with. It could be UNDP. You know, these are development partners, okay, and we work with also the CSOs, civil society organizations,
okay,
and of course our target audience are the entrepreneurs themselves, the startups, you know, the young emerging businesses who need our all these programs that I'm talking about, spoken about, you know. So these are the people that, and of course the media.
Okay, yes,
yeah.
yes.
So these are the partners, you know. So sometimes we co-design the programs, you know, in partnership with these partners. Other times it could be a program that they own and that they want us to
be part of it, to your input. Yeah,
implement it. We are currently working with African Women's Development Fund. Okay. So we've been supported also by different organizations, by African Development Bank, Bank of Industry Nigeria, MTN has, you know, sponsored our events, you know. Agra, in the agribusiness sector, we have worked on a program in agribusiness with the EU, okay, for 2 years. Okay, so these are...
Wow, you're doing a lot there. Share a success story that you feel that you. I want to hear that. And I have another question.
Our success stories are the successes of the
beneficiaries.
The beneficiaries.
Okay.
Seeing them benefit from the programs, the training, and then going on to scale their businesses to attract resources, finance, market into their business, to create jobs, and then to become profitable businesses.
Right.
Those are our successes. That's our goal, and achieving that that main goal, that is our major success. So that's our impact, and also that we are a voice, okay, for women entrepreneurship on the continent, because we also work in advocacy.
Okay.
So and advocacy means that we are, you know, putting that voice, you know, to the policymakers, that you have to mainstream gender, you have to, you know, look into gender equality as a priority for government, because that empowering women in Africa, that's carrying the women along in Africa, is the only way to attain development.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what are some of the challenges, you know, that you face as an organization?
Well, the challenges that you face as an organization, first of all, is also the challenge that entrepreneurs themselves face.
So you're experiencing what your beneficiaries
because I'm a social entrepreneur, so to say. Okay. So your challenge is also about getting, you know, resource mobilization. It's a challenge. It's getting those key stakeholder engagement, buy-in, okay, to support what you are doing, and navigating the African, you know, landscape that is usually a difficult,
diverse and
it's
different.
Not a CCC. As they say,
not a joke.
Yeah, as they say, Africa is not for CCs. Okay, so those are the challenges. Okay, that already you have a challenge of infrastructure, okay, as a big barrier to business on the continent. So those are the main challenges. Then you have a challenge of skills. You know, accessing affordable skills. Okay, so it's not that the skills are not there, but I use the word affordable. So
interesting. So now that we've had COVID, which is the new norm, you know, that we're all kind of trying to live in, and with all these challenges, you know, that you're talking about, how has COVID impacted AWIEF or your beneficiaries? You know, how? Positively or negatively?
Well, I would say negatively for the beneficiaries,
Okay.
for the entrepreneurs, for the startups, for the women. It has been devastating for many of them, you know, for their businesses. If many of them, their businesses have had to fold up,
Wow.
others have lost revenue. Okay, so the entrepreneurs certainly they have been negatively impacted. In a place like South Africa and also elsewhere in Africa, many of these women are also single mothers, single family, you know, women. So they are the only breadwinner. Some have families, some who are not
Dependents,
single mothers,
yes.
but because they are also facing issues of stress in the family, because lack of revenue means stress. And some unfortunately get to also being in a situation of violence against them because of, you know, so these are some of the situations that COVID has created. We run a program, we are running a program, we're still running the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs,
Okay.
which is a US government program, a project that they are implementing in 52 countries in the world. So we are the implementing partner for that program
Wow,
in South Africa.
Well done.
So we are running it in partnership with the US Embassy. Okay,
For the beneficiaries must be South African.
yeah, there are
women.
125 women, South African young entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs.
So we started this program last year in the middle of COVID. Okay, so here you are dealing with young women, young South African women, and we went through this journey of working with them during COVID, and we saw what challenges many of them were having. Working from home, you have issues of affording data, electricity, internet. Okay, you have issues of they are handling balancing life situations, family situations with coping with this training program. They have issues of some of them that suffered in the family, COVID infection, sometimes even loss, death. Okay, so we were dealing with all these issues. So we saw this, closely. So COVID has had a lot of impact on our beneficiaries. Yeah, but as AWIEF, as an organization, I wouldn't really say the only impact is negative, is that we have to work, more
in a different way.
In a different way. We have to adopt technology, and it was
with all the virtual Zoom meetings.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. You have to work harder to keep up with the technology, with the way it's going and all that. So we have to pivot. And we have to redesign programs, to be able to. But we were able to continue implementing our programs, bringing in new ones, and all that.
We're probably, in a way, with COVID, I know previously you would have had to travel to some of these events, the cost, the stress,
we've been implementing since last year a program in Nigeria and Malawi. The same program, we're implementing it in Nigeria and in Malawi. I was supposed to be in these places, but Kemi, what it also meant was learning that actually you could do so many things without traveling on the plane. So I can tell you that to some extent I'm not, it's a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing because we reduce our, I know our friends or, business people in the airline sector.
Yeah, they've been affected negatively.
They would like to hear that.
But you reduce your travel costs.
Yes, you reduce your travel costs, you reduce, what is it that they call it, the carbon.
Exactly, in terms of helping the environment.
Helping the environment, and actually, we were able also to create more value for our entrepreneurs, using technology, because technology is a great enabler. So, I think I have lived that more positively than negatively. I took it as something much more positive.
On the positive.
Yeah.
And the fact that I think there was a time I think you were given a presentation or something in Atlanta as well, JJ, you don't need to be there. Don't need to be but you basically want some like
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's so COVID has been tough, you know, but it has also brought some benefits. Yeah.
So now let me go back to you as a person.
Yes.
What motivates you? What keeps you going? What are some of the personal qualities you think you have that have helped you with addressing some of those challenges, whether COVID, whether natural, whether whatever? What motivates you?
I think what motivates me is seeing impact from what I'm doing. But at the beginning, I think what actually prepared me for that is that I would say that I'm somebody who was used to challenging situations, challenging status quo, starting from as a little girl, because when you are the only girl in the family with 4 brothers, 2 in front of you, 2 behind you.
Oh, you're a middle child.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
only girl.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
and you lost your dad at an early age as well. Yes.
Yeah. So I think I had to defend.
You have to fight for yourself, boys.
I've been fighting the men, the boys, one way or the other, So it has. So I think that thing is.
It has also been there. You
exactly.
grew up with it.
So now, when I decided to do this thing, that means also challenging the system, challenging the status quo, that women shouldn't do certain things or can't do certain things or can't have equal access to certain things. Okay, so already that natural thing is one of the things that is an ingredient for success in what I'm doing. Okay, so that is it. But then you have other things that go with it. It's about hard work. It's about having a vision. And being passionate about that vision and believing in that vision, and then going out to find people who believe also
in your
vision.
Because you can't do it alone, at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because you've spoken earlier on about your partners, your funders, all the people you work with.
They have to buy into that vision to be able to be a part of it.
And I think as well for you were really being very humble, by not seeing, the qualities, in terms of, for me, that I've seen is probably the integrity, and the trust, because
absolutely,
especially from where we come from.
Mama K, you are perfectly right there. It's about integrity, so it's about hard work, it's about being resilient and persistent. It's about being able also to make sacrifices. Okay, because when you start anything that you want to do, you go through a lot. Every one of us, whenever you decide to, this is what I want to do, there are always difficulties, hurdles that you must
cross.
Yeah, but in my own case, and I guess in most cases, for success to happen, also you must have some support, somebody.
Your support system.
Somebody holding your back. I have your back.
Dr. Alex, well done. And the children, that is needed.
So family support is paramount. It's critical at any point, whether at the beginning or in the middle or in the end.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, you may not be able to achieve as much as you would. If it's not family, if you don't have family to do that, it could be a friend.
Correct.
It could be a critical partner to what you are doing. But you must have that support system.
Okay, I was going to ask something else regarding a young person, but I'm worried that we're going to run out of, because there's so much I really still want to pack in. But because this is about a special series for us focusing on Africa, I want to spend the rest of this time now basically on Africa as a whole. I'm not sure whether you're aware, with the African Union, every year they celebrate the Africa Day on the 25th of May. And this year, the Agenda 2063 for African Union, they've declared as, let me read it out so I don't get it wrong, the African Union Year of the Arts, Culture and Heritage, levers for building the Africa we want. So with all the challenges you're aware of that we work in Africa, and I don't want to focus on the challenges because we know it and we can talk about it, and you're working on it already. Do you think we as Africans, we are ready or we have what it takes to still build the Africa that we want? I know it's a big one, but I want to ask you because you walk across Africa.
Africa has everything that Africa needs to become self-sufficient. We have, Africa is bulging, is the youth, and Africa's youth, as they are now, they are full of innovative ideas. So all they need is that environment, conducive environment, support, to unravel that. But that support goes with training and making funding, available to them. We are a youth, continent. And another thing is women, Africa's women. Okay, but I believe you spoke about Africa Day. I lived 2 years in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa, so I was part of that. I was a consultant for the AU for some of the period that I was there. Okay, and what I know is that things are changing. Okay, as it is now, the AU has also adopted a policy that if the chairperson, AU Commission chairperson is a man, the deputy chairperson must be a woman. So currently we have a woman
intentionally doing things like that.
It's now intentional. So currently the deputy chairperson of the African Union Commission is a woman.
Right.
She's a Rwandan woman. Okay. So that's a step. That's a step ahead. That recognition that they have to carry women along, that they have to involve, there should be that inclusion. Gender inclusion, is already a step in the right direction. We could do with better leadership, in all African countries. Yes, so we could do with that, but I believe, that we will improve. Another thing that I think that Africa needs to do is to engage Africans in diaspora. Okay. So it's about empowering the youth.
So when you say Africa to engage Africans, are you talking about the government now, or Africans themselves in
African nations?
Okay.
African
so
nations.
The nations itself. Okay. All right. I just want to be clear. Okay.
When you're talking about, I'm talking about the different African countries.
Right.
You have a lot of Africans living
outside
the African borders.
And they are doing very well.
They are developing economies, and they are building. The Nigerians in the US, they are the best doctors. They are Nigerians in the UK.
The same.
In the legal.
The same.
Everywhere. Yes. So China did it. India did it. Bringing home their people outside. So Africa should start engaging Africans in diaspora. But engaging them means also, putting things in place.
I was just going to say, because if not, that would right away. Okay.
But technology also helps you to bridge the gap. So they can still engage Africans in diaspora using technology. COVID has made it clear to us that we can use technology to bridge gaps, to build, kind of bring people, everything together. So it's just about knowing how do we engage our Africans outside the continent to rebuild Africa, because we have the human resources, we have the natural resources, and we should have, and we do have enough private sector capital in Africa to power innovations in every sector. Innovations coming out of young people.
Yes.
Okay. Our youth, they are full of ideas.
Tell me about it.
And they are all coming up with this innovation. Africa is is one of the few continents in the world where you have problems to solve. And innovation is about
solving problems.
And we have young people who have great ideas that can solve most of our problems, health, education, agriculture, in all sectors. So we just have to engage them, and support them. And we have everything.
Right. So there was a lot you unpacked there, in terms of the challenges, what can be done, and linking that to the African Union agenda, and your experience as well with working with the African Union, which is perfect in terms of the series. What more do you think, just maybe in a minute, what more do you think can be done to improve joint working with our African countries, in terms of trade, in terms of, I know there's already things being done in some area, like the music, the fashion, where we have collaboration with our artists from Nigeria, South Africa, and so on. But for transport, and as an example, I remember my husband used to first travel to Europe, to come to Chad or somewhere there.
We still do.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I wouldn't even go there unless I have to.
No,
so what more can be done to improve, that joint working? I know African Union, some people like what they're doing, some people don't think they're doing enough, So what more can be done, to improve joint working?
African Union is working in the right direction. You may be aware that something that we call now the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement.
Yes.
Okay, that's an initiative of the African Union. It's in place. It has taken off effective 1st of January, and that is what that means. The African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. What it means is that trade barriers have fallen. More than 90% of that. So African countries can trade among themselves. Movement of
some
goods.
are already doing that.
Not move.
Whether South Africa, they have the South Africa, West Africa has ECOWAS, so
Yeah, but free movement of goods. And hopefully also free movement of people. Because we still have to have a visa to go to our African countries. So that is in place. That is more than trillions of trade, in dollars of trade, of intra-African trade. So that intra-African trade is what it's all about, African integrating different things, trading among themselves. It's enough to get Africa where they need to be. But of course, it has challenges. Infrastructure.
That's what I wanted to say. That's
logistics. Okay, so Africa has a huge infrastructure problem. That is a huge barrier to anything, to any kind of integration, whether trade integration or education or health or whatever you may think about. It's a big barrier, but I believe that they are aware of it, and that gradually
they're getting there. But in terms of there's infrastructure, but then I believe as well, you mentioned there about the people, free movement of people. I would want to touch on that because in terms of not just about visas alone, but in terms of where in some countries where they see each other African as a threat, to each other. I don't want to go into because we can talk about that. How will that work then?
That is when we start working together and seeing the gain, the benefit in working together as a continent. Because that is also how we go outside the continent to present Africa and defend Africa. They will see the benefits of, by already putting in place the African Continental Free Trade Area. When countries start to see what they are benefiting from one another. I think the barriers will also drop.
Start falling.
You know, start falling. Because if I'm a Nigerian businesswoman and I see that I'm trading with Ghana, trading freely with Ivory Coast, why should I have any issues with somebody from Ivory Coast coming to do
Nigeria,
business in Nigeria? You know, so it's a mutually beneficial.
But I think in some ways, for me, I like to recognize those who are really doing their best to things like that, and I'm sure you will know some examples as well. For me, Ghana, Rwanda, and they're really trying to encourage other African countries where they don't give up. You don't need visa, you don't need things like that. They're saying you come.
I remember the first time I was going to Rwanda. That was the first time I ever reached missing my flight, because I was thinking that I needed my other passport to be able to there.
Right.
And then I realized, a day before, I realized that is the passport that
you need. You actually need.
That as a Nigerian, I just have to go to Rwanda and get your visa at the airport.
So, where do you love working most in Africa? I know you're going to.
I've traveled and worked across
Africa. Pick three places in Africa, three
Yeah.
African countries that you enjoy. Morocco, okay.
Yeah, for what they have done with the country and the economy.
Okay.
I love Morocco. I love working in South Africa.
Okay.
And then of course my Nigeria.
Okay.
But if you are talking about exemplary African countries, that I admire, Botswana is one of them.
Right.
Rwanda is one of them. Ghana is one of them. Okay. And Ethiopia.
Ethiopia as well.
Yeah.
So what kind of future, and I think this is going to be my final kind of question, because I could go on and on.
Yeah.
What kind of future do you or would you like to see for our future generation in Africa?
The kind of future that I would like to see is an Africa where young people, children whose parents have lived outside Africa, they were born outside Africa, where they start loving and coming back, seeing Africa as a place where they can come back and live good quality lives instead of living in diaspora.
And I think that's the thing, good quality life.
Yeah.
Some of our African citizens, some, are not actually living good quality life outside Africa, but they're more into let's go and hustle.
Yeah.
It's the economic, rather than.
So we need to create that conducive environment for them to come back, because we are losing out. Africa has been on this brain drain for decades. And like you said, we're having Africans, I know, people that are viewers might go, they're both Nigerians, that's why they keep showing. Of course I'll showcase Nigeria. Yeah.
Remember that. But, we do have a lot of Nigerians, South Africans doing, good as doctors, nurses, professionals in every corner of the world. Every corner. Wow, okay, well, I could go on, but I'm being told we need to round up. So, in closing, in your own words, any advice or any final thoughts to our viewers, and I want you to just share with them tips, anything you want to say, just in closing.
The only thing I can say to our viewers is don't give up on Africa, okay? Let's all work together for this beautiful continent. It's our continent, it's home. They call it Africa, we call it home. So let's make it a very comfortable home for all our people. Let's not give up, let's continue working hard, and we shall get there.
Wow, I love that. Don't give up on Africa. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mama K.
Sister, friend, and what else? Can I call you colleague, neighbor? and everything. So
Yeah.
thank you for having us.
Thank you, Kenny.
And thank you as well, for all you're doing, to promote Africa in a positive way. I know you've got a lot of awards, you've got a lot of recognition, out there. And, I just want to say, from a Nigerian and a woman, and a world citizen who have lived outside the continent, well done. And, for all you're doing. And I know sometimes you might feel alone, or are people saying what I'm doing? Am I making a difference? Am I, and I know you see the difference, but at the same time, if it's only one person's life, like your beneficiaries that you're talking about, it's good enough. Exactly. It's good enough.
Yeah.
So, but you're doing that for the beneficiaries, you're doing that for the nations, you're doing that for the government, the US government, whichever government, you've raised the bar, so keep raising the bar, keep doing the best, you can, and thank you to your support system, out there.
Without the support system,
yes.
you
So
can't do it.
my dear son and my dear daughter who are helping, there, who listen, because the public see this of you, but they are the ones that see the Irene, in the home. So, thank you to your husband and your dear children, young adults.
I'm lucky.
Yeah, you're very lucky. And your brothers as well.
Oh, yes.
Who gave you that younger experience of the challenge.
Of climbing the tree higher than they were.
So thank you and well done to them. So thank you for all you're doing, because this is what this program is about, recognizing and saying thank you, for all you're doing and showcasing what you're doing.
Thank
and
you.
putting the spotlight, on you as a person. So thank you again for that.
Thank you for having me.
It's
It's
a
been a
pleasure.
great honor.
It's a pleasure.
All right.
So, my people, well, you've heard it. Don't give up on Africa. There's a lot in there that she has shared, and we all have a role to play as we celebrate Africa this month. It's not just to be a monthly thing or a day thing. We should be celebrating Africa every day, because we are so blessed with Africa as a continent. So, thank you to my dear sister again. And thank you as well, the viewers, for all you're doing in whatever capacity you're doing. So till next time, this is Mama K saying, stay safe, stay blessed, love you, and God bless.